We, the Brady family, with Aaron's campaign, are asking the very simple question as to why there is no one apparently going to come forward and stand up for these two people here, Daniel Cahill and Christopher Morton, who we have called liars, cheats, criminals, illegal immigrants that should have been deported from America as soon as they came in contact with any authority in the streets of New York. And we've covered this in the previous video, that no one from the Irish authorities, Pat Murray, Mark Phillips, Senior Counsel for the Prosecution, Brendan Grehan, the Irish DPP, nobody has stood up for these two men. And we've said the reason they won't stand up for them is because they know the Brady campaign is telling the truth about these two that told a tissue of lies to save their lives in America. And we're going to look now at the mainstream media in Ireland, and all of these journalists you see here in front of you, we have called them out on numerous occasions in respect of the reporting on Aaron's trial and on the investigation. We've called our work gutter journalism. We have called them clickbait journalists, and we have contacted a number of them directly. We've contacted their employers directly and shown them quite clearly that much of what they have written about Aaron, about Aaron's trial and about the investigation was incorrect. And we had put forward times, dates and vital information that shows clearly that at very least Aaron's conviction is wholly and totally unsafe. And yet none of these people that were on that screen are willing to stand up for those they proclaimed as good citizens. And indeed, there was hero content done for the likes of Cahill. Hero content printed for you, the Irish people. And yet, when we call out these so-called fucking heroes, nobody stands up for them. And I've said it before in the previous video, if you were close to someone and they were heroes and they had done the right thing and they were being lambasted for doing the right thing, you would stand up for them. But as we have said, these two men told a tissue of lies and statements to protect their own lives. Daniel Cahill was highlighted and lauded as the star witness in Aaron's case. The man who is responsible for putting our son in prison for a crime Aaron had nothing to do with. Because the likes of this thing here, Cahill, told a tissue of lies to save his own life. And even going a step further than that, we've seen Daniel Cahill create his own podcast, where he told us where he would like to, with a tinfoil hat on him, would like to prostitute children to make money. And he's seen that as a better investment than selling cocaine or marijuana. And yet, all of these journalists here, look at each and every one of them, have lauded Daniel Cahill. Look at all these newspapers, programmes here, RTE, Primetime, all the radio stations, online, The Sun, The Star, The Herald, The Sun, The World, all acres and acres of paragraphs about Aaron's case and about Daniel Cahill and these people who came forward. And yet, when the star witness goes on public record telling the world that he wants to sell children into prostitution and make more money from them, not a word from any of these people. Not a word. Daniel Cahill told us that he was stabbed multiple times before he left Ireland, and his involvement with the Ryan gang and the real IRA. Now, having said that, the man you see in the bottom of that picture there on the right hand side, Patrick O'Connell, tried to do a little bit of a saving piece on him, how poor Daniel had to leave Ireland under a cloud. But it was a pathetic attempt, O'Connell, to try and save something that is unsavable. So we go back again. It's very simple. Why will none of these clickbait journalists stand up for Daniel Cahill and Christopher Morton? Daniel Cahill is a liar, a criminal, and told a tissue of lies. Christopher Morton is a liar, a criminal, told a tissue of lies. The two of them should have been deported from America as soon as they came in contact with any of the authorities. And we say quite clearly they told lies to save themselves in America. And I ask the question again, and you, the Irish public, must ask, why will nobody stand up for these liars? Because that's what we are calling them, and not a word, not a whisper. Not one journalist has written a line about the two scumbags that were willing to tell lies to put an innocent man in jail.